still. Rubber burns on concrete. Fight for glory, thrill to kill. To the finish line we drive. Screeching wheels we come alive. Speed demons through the night. Racing with all our might. Fuel gauge dancing low. Sweat drips, countdown slow. Wind cutting faces now. Victory, our solemn vow. To the finish line we drive. Screeching wheels we come alive. Speed demons through the night. Racing with all our might. With all our might. Fuel gauge dancing low. Sweat drips, countdown slow. Wind cutting faces now. Victory, our solemn vow. To the finish line we drive. Screeching wheels we come alive. Speed demons through the night. Racing with all our might. Adrenaline rush we crave. Pushing past edges brave. Life in fast lane feeding fire. Tracks our only true desire. Helmet on, focused eyes. Crowds roar, reaches skies. Pit stop, seconds to spare. In this war, no place for care. To the finish line we drive. Screeching wheels we come alive. Speed demons through the night. Racing with all our might.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here this afternoon from the beautiful Richmond Raceway. The MNT Cup Series gets ready to go to battle. They get ready to duke it out. It's my boy, Chris DeWeese. Chris coming in, showing the love over there on YouTube, says, good evening, race fans. Hope everyone had a good week. Let's go. Number 08, Braxton DeWeese here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, jump into the comment section right now. Let us know who you're cheering for, who you want to see up in victory lane here this afternoon as we get ready to rumble. My boy Nicholas Merkley, Mr. Merkley coming in with the like on the stream over there on Facebook. How are you, Nick? Slick Nick coming in, showing the love here in this one, dropping that like on the stream. How are you, Mr. Merkley? How you doing this beautiful Friday afternoon? As the racing action about to get underway, qualifying coming to a close here, so drivers getting done their qualifying evening, and we're going to get ready to set them loose here. We got 125 laps on the docket here for this feature event. So 125 laps here at the beautiful Richmond Raceway. Now the laps are going to get clicked off in a quick hurry. So drivers that are, towards the front of the field, they're starting in a prime position. They just got to hang on and hope to keep themselves there towards the front of the pack. But the drivers that did not qualify very well, they're going to have to try to march their way through the field. They're going to have to try to click these drivers off and work their way to the front of the pack. Hope to avoid any cautions or contact or anything else out there on the speedway, and hope to move their way towards the front of the field here in this one. Chris says, how's it going, buddy? You know it's going well. You know it's going well, Chris. You know it's going well, Mr. DeWeese. It's always good. It's always going good, especially when I'm up here in the broadcast booth and I get to cheer these drivers on. I get to watch these cats drive out there on the speedway, and I get to put a show on for all the fans in the grandstands, cheering these guys on and watching these drivers duke it out here on a beautiful Friday afternoon. As we get ready to set them loose, we'll go through our starting grid. As you see it up there on the top banner, you see where some of these drivers are getting started, but we do know that Braxton DeWeese will start here in that pole position. So the Interstate Ford 08 will start in the top spot. To his outside is the Michigan University 28 of Johnny Brugg. Starting in position number 3 in the 35, that is Daniel Bentley. Bentley will start there in position number 3 to his outside in the 7 ride. The JL Racing, Merkel Racing engines. Number 7 is Justin Lewis. Starting in position number 5 in the Miller Light, number 8 machine. That is Dale Miller, into his outside in the Merkel Racing engines, number 2. That is Todd Merkel. Starting in position number 7 in the Tide Downey, number 51. That is Max Campbell, to his outside. In the back row, Sim Racing 01. That is Matthew Wheeler. Down on the inside, a row number 5 in the Mud Dog Racing Majula St. Speed Shop, number 5. That is Caleb Ramsey. Ramsey going to start there in that 9th position. To his outside in the 77, that is Joshua Yarborough, rounding out our top 10. And down on the inside, a row number 6. The Rumpel Furniture number 70 machine, that is Curtis Miller. To his outside, the 52, that is Dwight Hibbs. And then we see Justin Bentley in the number 1 of Kerry Klein, there in the 13th and 14th position. The pickle car of Christian Bratcher will start 15th. To his outside, the 26 of Yusuf Ghali, there in the 16th position. Clay Cantrell, Austin Call, Daryl Rachter, Brian Grubbs, Bradley King bringing up the rear of the field here in the Food City number 9 ride. So 21 of the best drivers here in iRacing getting ready to duke it out here in the MNT Cup Series. Race number 9 of 10 here in the season. So this is the penultimate race here this afternoon, the second to last race here this evening for all these drivers who out there duking out battle here, trying to keep their points lead or trying to gain the points that they may need to try to make it even tighter for that championship battle here next week as we get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go. The lights are off. The official iRacing pace car. He'll make the hard left-hand turn down pit side, and we will end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here from Richmond Raceway. Johnny Brogg using the outside lane quickly stays that early race lead, but here comes Deweese. Deweese using that bottom groove down through 1 and 2. He's trying to pull door to door with Brugg down the back straightaway. Brugg, though, clears that 0-8, so the interstate forward ride of Braxton Deweese will slide back to that second spot as Johnny Brugg will jump up and take this race lead away. So Brugg leads lap number 1 here at Richmond, but Braxton Deweese trying to battle back here once again down on that inside lane as they go door to door out at quarter number 2. They're side by side back there behind them for that first spot on the racetrack as well. Justin Lewis trying to keep himself here in position number 3 with the Sim Magic. Number 35 of Daniel Bentley working down to his inside as Daniel trying to stay there in that 3rd spot. Unfortunately, he is going to lose that position to the 7th ride of Lewis, but Lewis goes up the racetrack, blows it through the corner, opens up the door down through quarter 2 and down the back straightaway for the 35 ride of Daniel Bentley to get back into that fight here for position number 3 on the speedway. Dale Miller right there rounding out our top 5 as James Woldazak, hopefully I'm saying that right, probably getting it completely wrong. James Woldazak coming home and showing the love here with the like on the juices. What's up, bro? What's up, James? How are you, mister? How you doing this evening? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day as we get these drivers here onto the speedway, each and every one of them looking to play and looking to try to put themselves into victory lane. We see Tom Merkel hanging on to that 6th position as Matthew Wheeler up into 7th, moving Max Campbell back there into the 8th spot. One driver already working his way up and through the field here is Yusuf Ghali. Yusuf working down to the inside here, the 5 ride of Caleb Ramsey. This is a battle for the 10th position. Looks like the Vans machine of Yusuf Ghali will move up into the 10th position, already up 6 positions from the drop of the green flag. So Yusuf Ghali on his way to the front of the field is contact. Look out, Caleb Ramsey almost going around right there. There is a caution flag as we see Justin Lewis turned around as well. Justin Lewis out of quarter 2 is going to go around. But let's take a look here at the 5 ride of Caleb Ramsey. Ramsey already a little bit sideways right there. Going to get a little net coat, a little help from the 52 ride as he goes skidding down through corner 1 and 2. Luckily enough, that car stays pointing in the right direction. At the same time, you see that 7 ride of Justin Lewis going around as Ramsey does get a good piece of that outside fence. So quite a bit of damage there for the Mud Duck Racing Majula Speed Shop number 5 machine. As let's take a look here and see what happens to that number 7 machine of Justin Lewis. As Lewis was battling up here for that 3rd position. Looks like he has fallen back to the 4th spot and then down the bottom side of 1 and 2, just coming out of corner number 2 onto the throttle. Unfortunately, that car starts to go around. He corrects it. Unfortunately, that car sliding down towards that inside wall. He gets onto the binders, gets this car stopped there on the racetrack, and that's what brings out our first caution flag of the day. So our first yellow flag here of the evening is going to come out, and these drivers, each and every single one of them, looking to try to keep on moving forward. We don't see the 5 rider Caleb Ramsey come down pit side, but we did see Justin Lewis go down pit road. We did see Brian Grubbs down pit side as well in the Lockhart IT number 06 ride. So he heads down pit road. Looks like they're going to get that car fixed up. Grubbs is going to slide back out onto the racetrack here, keep himself on the lead lap. You'll see Justin Lewis down pit side. There he goes as well. So both of those drivers down pit road early in this race, now to the rear of the field. So Justin Lewis gonna have to try to work his way back up through the field. We also see now Justin Bentley head down pit side here. The Ranger Boats number 16 machine also heading down pit road. So maybe a bit of a strategy call here for the 16 ride. We'll see if he gets tires or if he put some fuel into this car. We haven't seen him do anything yet, but be interesting to see. Doesn't look like he's getting too much work done to that car. So not sure what Justin Bentley, maybe just a strategy call, maybe trying to get this thing as filled as possible with fuel before hopping back out and onto the racetrack, maybe getting a little bit of damage repaired as well. And he may have gotten a piece of somebody or into the wall at some point in that first run, but nonetheless, he is down pit side. He's going to have to be careful as here comes the rest of the field looking to potentially put him a lap down early in this race. Is nice and easy. Down across the start-finish line, Johnny Brugg going to click off another lap as we do see Justin Bentley does get back out onto the racetrack there before the official iRacing pace car rolled around him. So he will stay on the lead lap, and early pit stops, some early strategy games being played here by a few of these competitors to make this race that much more intense, that much more interesting, as we're going to see them get stacked back up 2 by 2 by 2 throughout the field. Johnny Brugg is our race leader with Braxton Deweese there in second. Neil Miller, Daniel Bentley, Matthew Wheeler, Todd Merkel, Max Campbell, Joshua Yarborough, Dwight Hibbs, and Yusuf Ghali are top 10 here on the Speedway. As down through the Geico restart zone, Johnny Brugg will see that green flag flying once again. Here this afternoon, he quickly jumps onto the left pedal, clears. Then 0-8 of Braxton Deweese, moving Deweese still into that second spot as the Interstate Ford 0-8 machine trying to keep up with that 28 ride, trying to put himself into a good position as we see the caution flag come right back out. So cautions breeding cautions here in this one as Caleb Ramsey in the 5 ride going to run into some issues. We saw some drivers afterwards also running into some issues down the back straightaway. So we'll have to take a look at a couple different things here on the speedways. It looks like Caleb Ramsey doesn't look like he gets into Dwight Hibbs, but unfortunately goes around trying to stay off of him, comes down the racetrack, noses it into the inside fence. Pretty heavy damage right there for that Mud Duck Racing number 5 ride. Let's see if he has any contact here with this number 52 at Dwight Hibbs right in front of him. You see Hibbs kind of getting a little tight here in the corner. I think he just gets checked up trying to avoid hitting the 25 ride, and I think as he does, he just gets loose here on corner exit. The 17, nowhere to go, gets a piece of him in the 5 as he shoots down the racetrack, gets a piece of that 13 ride of Christian Proctor. Proctor gets up into the outside wall and also gets a piece of the 52 with Dwight Hibbs, and that sent Hibbs down the racetrack, and I do believe we're going to see Justin Bentley slide into this 52 ride. He's trying to avoid him. Unfortunately, it looks like he's Oh, I think he misses him, but unfortunately gets up into the outside fence there himself. So driver's just trying to avoid some of the carnage down the back straightaway, and unfortunately some of that carnage right to them as Bentley at the back of the pack. We saw him come down pit road there. The last car down pit road, trying to drive his way through this. Unfortunately, he drives into his own issues down here into corner number 3, and some heavy damage there for that 16 ride. Now, I'm interested to see if the number 70 rider, Curtis Miller, if he gets a piece of Dwight Hibbs right here or not, as Hibbs was blinking there a little bit. Everyone trying to figure out where to go. He gets a little piece of the 9 right there, the 09, and it looks like, or the 06, then the 06, it might be the 06. There it is, the 06 of Ryan Grubbs. He unfortunately gets the contact here at the 70, which shoves him down the racetrack, and unfortunately shoves him right into that number 52 ride. Pretty heavy front end contact there as well. So a few drivers tore up early in this race. A lot of beating and banging and battling down that back straightaway, and a lot of drivers getting tore up here in this one. As Tony J. Ludi, my boy Mr. Ludi, coming in, showing the love. What's good, Tony? Tony coming in, smashing that thumbs up here on the broadcast. How are you, Tony? How are you doing this evening? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day as we're going to get ready to go back and play here at Richmond Raceway for our second restart here of the evening after a couple early caution flags. We'll see if these drivers can kind of get things settled in, get these tires underneath of them, and see if they can try to get a little bit of a long green flag run in here. We're used to seeing these drivers go caution free out there on the speedway, but Richmond Raceway, it's known for having some issues, especially out of corner number 2, out of corner number 4. Drivers really losing the rear end, getting super loose on corner exit, and running into issues. We'll have to keep an eye on that all evening long. As Johnny Brunk does see that green flag fly, he quickly jumps back onto the loud pedal, opening up that little bit of a lead, and able to clear the 08 right of Braxton DeWeese. Down through corner 1 and 2 is another driver. Daniel Bentley going to run into issues here. He goes down the racetrack. Not sure if he gets a piece of that inside wall or not, but no caution flag yet on the racetrack. But you watch him down low underneath the 8 ride, and it looks like they make a little contact. Unfortunately, that shows the front end down and into the inside fence there. Heavy left front damage there for that Magic number 35 machine of Daniel Bentley, as Bentley will keep that car rolling. As more contact, more drivers running into issues here. You see the 13 ride, the pickle car around again on the back straightaway, and I do believe that will put us back under the yellow flag. Well, the yellow flag is going to come back. It will take another look at it here as the 13 and the 09 ride going to come together there. Another corner number 4. This is 09. He's going to get into the inside fence there as well, trying to avoid him. That's Daryl Rachter. Now, I'm not sure if Rachter gets into the outside fence here or what might have happened between the 09 and the 13. He's in the 09 way up the racetrack, and unfortunately, he comes off that fence. He just kind of comes down the racetrack and collects this number 13 ride. And unfortunately for the pickle car, he's going to run into a lot more issues here as there's that contact around. He goes into that wall. The 9 of Bradley King going to get a piece of him there as well. A little bit more damage here for that 13 ride, as that will put us back under the caution flag here this afternoon. So the pickle car heads down pit side looking to get some repairs. So does in the Magic 35 of Daniel Bentley. They're both going to head down pit road. We do see Dwight Hibbs out here. He's going to get the free pass and back onto the lead lap. So that caution flag definitely helped the 52 ride out. So he'll be back in contention here this afternoon. And I do believe Justin Bentley is now the first car 1 lap down. Daryl Rachter and Brian Grubbs both off of the racetrack here. So a tough early start for those competitors here this afternoon. Alrighty, as we roll down across the start-finish line, our first 19 laps of this race are going to come to a close here as Johnny Brugg continues to lead the way. Brugg out in front here at Richmond Raceway with Braxton DeWeese there in second. Dale Miller in third with Matthew Wheeler and Yusuf Ghali now our top 5 here on the speedway. Ghali's been able to use these restarts really to his advantage here, and he's been able to work his way now up 11 7 positions. Started all the way back in 16th and early in this race, able to avoid some of the contact and carnage and able to pick up a few of these drivers on these restarts. And we see Yusuf Ghali now up 11 spots on the speedway, sitting in that 5th position, and a couple spots back there behind him. We see the 17 rider, Austin Call. Call also up 10 spots here on the speedway. So Call and Yusuf Ghali both working their way from deeper in the field toward the front of the pack here. We'll have to keep an eye on those drivers. We'll see Blake Cantrell trying to work his way up through the field, now inside the top 10 after picking up 7 positions early in this race. And I don't know, it's going to get very, very interesting here to see where some of these drivers are going to end up here, and whether or not they're going to have to come down pit side and get tires, get fuel, or whatever they may need here this afternoon for this feature event. There's already a little bit of craziness, a little bit of mayhem and chaos ensuing out there on the speedway, really mixing things up, really making this race a little bit more interesting, a little bit more chaotic, and a little bit more controversial, as drivers are going to have to really start to use their calculators, really try to figure out a game plan on how to attack this racetrack, how to attack, what they need out there on the speedway, whether or not it's the fresh tires or if it's, just trying to be patient here and keep that track position and wait for everybody to really come down pit side here before coming down and being that lone car, or one of 2 or one of 3 to come down pit side. If you're that 08 rider, Braxton Louise, Johnny Brock, Matthew Wheeler, Dale Miller, any of these drivers that are inside the top 5, if you go down pit road, you're basically taking yourself from, the front of the pack to the back of the pack in a quick hurry. But that could be the strategy a little later in this race, making that move, making that pit stop, getting those fresh tires could potentially put you into a winning strategy here this afternoon. We'll have to wait and see how it all works out as we do go back to Green Flag Racing. Another good restart there for Johnny Brunk. He's Brunk back onto the gas pedals there. 3 wide back here behind him. 3 wide is Yusuf Ghali continuing to work his way to the front of the field. Splits the 8 and the 2 right and slides the 26 machine now into position number 4. Here comes Austin Call as well. Call trying to work his way closer and closer to the front of the field. Same with Clay Cantrell as they try to pick their way through a few of these drivers inside the top 10 on the speedway. As Yusuf Ghali now up 12 positions, same with that 17 right of Austin Call, as they've been marching their way towards the front of the field, and now that they're getting closer and closer to the front of the pack, we'll have to wait and see if they got anything for our race leaders. Johnny Brunk or Braxton DeWeese. Matthew Wheeler doing a great job there in position number 3. We'll see if he can jump up here and join that battle as Braxton DeWeese again down low. Look at underneath the 28 line of Johnny Brunk for the race lead here at Richmond Raceway. The Interstate Ford 08 machine down low, door to door with the 28 down across the line. Johnny Brunk will keep that race lead, but they're still door to door down into corner number 1. So Braxton Louise using that inside lane. Johnny Brunk down low, using the middle lane here, trying to pinch that 08 line down low, trying to make him make a mistake, but 08 putting that pressure on our early race leader, and down across the line, just edging out in front again is Johnny Brunk. So Brunk continues to lead the way here at Richmond Raceway, but that Interstate 4 of Braxton Louise looking to take this race lead away, and he gets a great run down through 1 and 2. We'll see if he can complete this pass down here through 3 and 4. He's clear right now of the 28. He will slide in front of him, and we get a new race leader here at Richmond. Move the 08, our pole sitter, Braxton DeWeese, back to the front of the pack. So Braxton now leads the way as Johnny Brunk slides to second. Matthew Wheeler's got to hang on to that 3rd spot here on the speedways. Yusuf Ghali right there on his back bumper. Is Ghali looking to work himself now into the 3rd spot on the speedway. Austin Cole up and inside our top 5. Todd Merkel back there in position number 6 with Blake Cantrell in the MNT Motorsports ride right there on his back bumper. Max Campbell there in 8. Justin Lewis back inside the top 10, now into the 9th position. We saw that 07 ride go around. Still has heavy front end damage here on the 7 machine, but back inside the top 10, continue to see if he can work himself back towards the front of the field. Joshua Yarborough there in the 77, rounding out our top 10. here on the Speedway is Dale Miller. Back in 11th, Caleb Ramsey there in 12th. Then we see Daniel Bentley in the one rhyme of Kerry Clark battling here for the 13th and 14th position. The Pickle car, the 13 of Christian Pracker, rounding out our top 15 here on the Speedway with Dwight Hibbs back in the 16th spot. Curtis Miller there in 17th. Bradley King back in 18th. And then we see the number 16 of Justin Bentley. He's the first car one lap down out here on the racetrack. Looking for a wave around here, hoping for another caution flag to get himself back into contention here this afternoon, get himself back onto the lead lap and into the swing of things here in this one. As right now he is at the rear of the field as Daryl Raptor and Brian Grubbs both out of this race. They both have their cars down pit side and off the Speedway, so a dump break there for Daryl Raptor and Brian Grubbs here this afternoon. As Braxton DeWeese continues to lead the way. DeWeese here at the front of the field from Richmond Raceway. Johnny Brugg there in second. So DeWeese, Brugg, and Golly are top three. As we do see Yusuf Golly now around Matthew Wheeler. We'll see Austin Call making his way around that 0-1 ride of Wheeler as well. So Matthew Wheeler now back into that 5th position as Golly and Call both continue their march to the front of the field. Yusuf Golly up 13 positions on the racetrack. Austin Call is up 14 spots here on the Speedway. Both of them started deeper in the field, but now up at the front of the pack and looking to try to put themselves in to victory lane. Justin Lewis now into that 6th position, so Lewis continues his march back to the front of the field here as well. So we'll have to keep an eye on this 7th ride and see if he can keep working his way back up to the front of the pack as well, as the 7 machine looking very, very fast. He was up inside the top 3, top 4 early in this race before going around on the back straightaway and getting quite a bit of damage into that inside fence. You can still see that damage on the front end of that 7 ride, but it doesn't seem to be affecting him a whole lot out there on the racetrack, as he is still out in. Still putting down some pretty good lap times right now. Almost one of the fastest cars on the racetrack, and he's hunting down this 0-1 of Matthew Wheeler in a quick hurry, but there's a big gap between Wheeler and our top 4 here on the Speedways. Austin Call there in 4th, Golly a little bit there in front of him. John Brugg there in 2nd, has about 7/10 of a second now between himself and our race leader, Braxton DeWeese. In front, looking to just continue to roll that inside groove, trying to keep these tires underneath of them and keep all these drivers back there behind him as the 0-8 ride looking for the checker flag here this afternoon. A lot of great drivers, a lot of talented competitors out there on the racetrack duking it out here in this one as we edge closer and closer to our checker flag. Who's it going to be? Who will put themselves into victory lane here this afternoon? And it looks like we're finally getting that good green flag run in that all these drivers are hoping for here on the evening after a few quick concession caution flags here early in this race. Drivers running into issues on those restarts, but now things are running a little bit more smoothly. Drivers are getting some more laps underneath of them. They're laying down the rubber, and here on the Speedway, we'll have to wait and see how long we can stay green flag racing. When does that caution flag come in? How does it affect the style of racing here this afternoon? Will it be a late race caution flag, potentially making this a short run to the finish line where drivers really got to be prepped and ready for that short run speed and trying to battle for the race win here later on this evening? Or do we see maybe a couple more caution flags throughout the night, really breaking this one up and using some of that straight pit strategy to their effects and to their advantage here this afternoon? Or do we see this go clean and green right down to the end, where once again that pit strategy could play a major factor? Now, I'm not sure if these drivers will have to come down pit road or not. If they do have to make at least one pit stop here during this race, we got to assume it's going to be around that halfway marker, somewhere near that lap number 60, lap number 70 area, where we will see these drivers head down pit road and start to make those green flag pit stops here this afternoon. As Braxton DeWeese out in front, showing these drivers how to get it done, has opened up about 8/10, almost 9/10 of a second gap between himself and Johnny Brugg. Yusuf Golly there in 3rd, and then we see Austin Call and Justin Lewis now inside our top 5 here on the Speedway. Matthew Wheeler back there in 6 with Max Campbell, Joshua Yarborough, Todd Merkel, and Daniel Bentley are top 10 here on the Speedway. Dale Miller, Caleb Ramsey, Christian Proctor, Kerry Klein, and Dwight Hibbs are top 15 here on the Speedway with Curtis Miller, Bradley King, Justin Bentley, Clay Cantrell down pit side here in the 88 ride. Now scored in the 19th position here. I'm not sure what happened to Clay, but unfortunately down pit side here for quite a few laps. This is a tough break for the number 88 ride. Doesn't look like they're doing anything to this race car, so I'm not sure what's happened here to the 88 machinist. Darrell Rachter and Brian Grubbs both have taken their car down behind pit wall and out of this race. So it's 19 cars left racing on the racetrack. One of them still down pit side. I'm not sure what's happened here to that number 88 machinist Clay Cantrell here this afternoon as he sits down on his pit box. As Braxton Deweese rolls out at corner number 4, he'll click up another lap here this afternoon. So Braxton Deweese leads the way here. 45 laps of this race already done. We got about 80 laps of racing left here this afternoon, so still lots of time for drivers to work their way up through the field, work their way through traffic, and battle here for the race win this afternoon. As we do see Bentley still a lap down. I'm still not sure what's going on there. Clay Cantrell, he was having a great run up inside the top 10. I don't see anything on our list here of him running into issues or making contact with the wall or anything else. He just came down pit side and has not left his pit box yet. So a heartbreaker there for the 88 ride of Clay Cantrell. Potentially something under the hood going amiss there for that 88 ride here this afternoon, and that's going to be a big issue here for any of his teammates or anything else, knowing that they got the same power under the hood. Any of these Chevy drivers, after hearing of the the engine expiring there for the 88 ride, it's going to be interesting if any of these other Chevys will run into that issue. As right now, these guys continue to put on a heck of a race, heck of a show for us here at the front of the field. And it's a Ford in Ford, Hero 1 and 2, a Toyota back there in position number 3, and another Toyota there in 4th. Our next Chevy is the 7 ride of Justin Lewis. So Lewis, one of those other Chevys out there on the Speedway, seeing the issues that Clay Cantrell's ran into, now hoping for the best, hoping that the Merkel Racing Engines ride here can continue on rolling for the rest of this race and not run into those engine issues that the 88 ride has suffered here this afternoon. So that's what we're hearing. An engine expiry there for the number 88 ride here this afternoon has put him down in on pit road, and will probably take him down behind the pit box here at any moment. As Braxton Deweese out in front, continuing to show these drivers how to get it done, as lap number 50 getting completed here this afternoon. 75 more laps of this race left to go, as we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite driver as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. rocking the sights and sounds around the beautiful Richmond Raceway here this afternoon. It's Braxton DeWeese who continues to lead the way, but right there, that was just working. Down to his inside here, looking to try to take this race lead away. It's Yusuf Ghali now into position number 2 here on the speedway. Johnny Braun there in third, then about a 5-second gap back to our fourth place driver, Justin Lewis. As Lewis there in the 4th position, as some drivers have already made their way down pit side. So some green flag pit stops have kind of gotten things underway here this afternoon. So some green flag pit stops here for these drivers, and we may see more to come here as this race continues to progress. As out in front, Braxton DeWeese, who leads the way, showing these drivers how to get it done here this afternoon, trying to keep that Interstate 408 ride here at the front of the field. But again, the 26 making another run right back to his rear bumper. Almost some contact there out of corner number 2. Luckily enough, no contact, and they were able to both keep their cars pointed in the right direction. As DeWeese will click off another lap here at Richmond. We get closer and closer to about 75 laps into this race. We get closer to our final 50 here this afternoon. You see Ghali continuing to put that pressure onto the back bumper here of our race leader. Now, how long can these drivers stay out here on the racetrack before being forced to come down pit side? As some of those drivers that were up towards the front of the field here, including Austin Call, have already made those green flag pit stops. Austin Call came down pit road around lap 51. It's going to make things very, very interesting here. We do see Clay Cantrell still down pit side with those engine issues, but we did see Dwight Hibbs, Kerry Klein, Justin Bentley come down pit road. Kerry Klein's already made a green flag pit stop. Dale Miller came down around lap 67, but Austin Cole coming down a little bit earlier here around lap number 51. Definitely making things interesting, trying to run the final 75 laps here on a fresh set of tires and that extra fuel that he may need to get to the end of this race. So right now he's laying down some very quick lap times. Very, very fast car out there on the speedway, where some of these other drivers that are at the front of the field here, they're running quite a bit slower. Those older tires and everything else, they're giving up time here to our to those drivers with the fresh tires. But when they come out onto the racetrack, they will become the quickest cars on the speedway, and the drivers that have the fresh tires right now will be sliding backwards. But it's gonna be a big give or take. It's a huge strategy call here coming down pit road. Now you see Max Campbell, he's going to go a lap down. We saw Austin Cole a lap down. He's currently still a lap down, trying to work his way here past our race leader. So it's just showing you right here how good these fresher tires are. And now Austin Cole was down pit side about 26 laps ago, so he's got quite a few laps on these new tires, but you can still see how good they are compared to the older tires, the tires that have 50 plus laps more on them here this afternoon. As you do see Yusuf Ghali again looking down low. Looks like this time he will make that pass around Braxton DeWeese. So DeWeese back to position number 2 with Yusuf Ghali now out in front, but there goes the 17 as here comes Braxton DeWeese down pit side, but he goes around. DeWeese goes around trying to find his way down pit lane. Kerry Klein collected in that as well. Oh no, and it's going to be interesting here. It does look like they have the 17 ride of Austin Cole ahead of the 26, so that'll put Yusuf Ghali as our race leader, and the 17, the last car on the lead lap here this afternoon. That's a great break right there for the 17 ride of Austin Cole, but a tough break for the rest of these drivers. And I think Austin Cole, some of these other drivers like Dale Miller, who had already made their green flag pit stops using those French tires to their advantage, I think that was going to work out for them. I think that was going to definitely be a potential race-winning strategy here, as we see the 17 just gets past. Now he's trying to make his way. Actually, it's the 08 of Braxton DeWeese, who's trying to make his way down pit side here. So I'm not sure if it's just a late decision to come down pit road or not, but he's kind of just rolling here, and Looks like that car either just gets loose. I'm not sure if he's getting onto the binders trying to hit pit lane or if that car does just actually go around. Gary Klein nowhere to go, gets a piece of him there. Hempstead 08 ride, go for that loop-de-loop. The Samuel Adams Oktoberfest ride. He's going to go around there as well. Luckily enough, no additional contact for either of those drivers, but that does put us under the caution flag, and that does open the floodgates here for drivers to head down pit side and get some work done to their cars, and that's going to put Austin Call into a pretty precarious position here, as he's scored right now as our race leader. Did not come down pit road with the lead lap car, so he's going to come down pit side here at the end. The 17 machine will hit his pit box and he'll go to work. The crew is going to put some tires onto this car. They're going to put some fuel into this thing, and he'll have to try to work up all that strategy and try to work his way towards the front of the field here, as strategy call almost worked out perfectly for him. We do see the 70 ride right there. That is the 70 of Curtis Miller and the 51 ride of Max Gamble. They were both just down pit road before that caution flag. They're looking for the wave around, trying to get a lap back and potentially put themselves back onto the lead lap here this afternoon. So we'll see if they get that wave around past the official iRacing pace car here, as out in front is going to be Johnny Brugg as our race leader, beating Yusuf Ghali out of pit lane. So Brugg is the race leader, Ghali there in second. Daniel Bentley back up into the third spot here. So good run right here for the 35 ride of Daniel Bentley. And then we see Matthew Wheeler in position number 4. Justin Lewis back there in the 5th spot. Joshua Yarborough now in 6th with Caleb Ramsey there in 7th. Todd Merkel back in 8th. Christian Proctor in 9th. And Austin Call will round out our top 10. Braxton Deweese there in 11th here. He'll have to try to work his way back to the front of the field, as the 9 of Bradley King going to be scored in the 12th position. Max Gamble in the 13th spot here. The 8 ride of Dale Miller, first car, he'll be the next car a lap down there in 14th. Gary Klein a couple laps down there in 15th. Curtis Miller a couple laps down back in 16th. Dwight Hibbs, Justin Bentley a couple laps down as well, as Hibbs still rolling out there. Justin Bentley looks like he's taken that car off the racetrack, so hasn't Clay Cantrell. So Justin Bentley, Clay Cantrell, Darrell Rachter, and Brian Grubbs all out of this race, meaning that we got 17 drivers left out here on the speedways. We'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here. The lights are off the official iRacing pace car. I'm not sure why the 2 cars that were a lap down have not got the wave around yet. They're going to get it down the back straightaway. Not sure why they did not get that wave around there, going to the 1 to go marker, as that's going to put them just in front of our race leaders. We get ready to go back to green flag racing. So the 28 rider Johnny Brugg out in front down through the Geico research zone is going to get a great jump, a great launch quickly. Opens up a couple car lengths between himself and Yusuf Ghali. Ghali there in second, as we do see Daniel Bentley and Matthew Wheeler door to door for position number 3. But we do see the caution flag coming right back out here. So another caution flag, as things were a little bit broken up there on that restart. I don't think the officials liked how this restart really got underway. Drivers were really separated here, not tight together, and at the same point in time, as you see our race leaders getting back to the green flag, the drivers that just got the wave around, like Max Gamble and the 70 ride of Curtis Miller, they're only down here on corner 1, so they're only a straightaway away from our race leaders here. And for them to try to battle back here and being on the lead lap, they definitely like to see that caution flag as a late wave around down the back straightaway to put them back into their positions that they needed to be. And now with this caution flag, I do believe it's going to give Dale Miller potentially the free pass here, the wave around, as he's the first car 1 lap down here. We'll have to wait and see if Dale Miller gets that free pass as well and gets back onto the lead lap with this extra caution flag on the speedway. And it does look like Dale is going to work his way to the outside of all the lead lap cars here, and he's going to get that wave around, and he will rejoin the top 14 drivers here onto the lead lap, so good piece there and a good deal for the 8 rider Dale Miller. He definitely liked to see that caution flag, and that puts him right back into the thick of things as we get him stacked up, ranked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here. I don't think tires are going to really make a huge difference now, unless if we see a late race caution flag and potentially see someone or a couple drivers deeper in the field make that strategy call to come back down pit road, get some extra tires, a fresh set onto their rides to see if they can make up a few spots late in this race. Other than that, I think a lot of strategies kind of gone out of the window. Now it's going to come down to just racecraft and putting yourself into the best position and working yourself up through the field and trying to put yourself into the battles at the front. It's Johnny Brugg going to get ready for another restart here. We'll get ready to see what he can do and if he can hold on to this race lead and keep Yusuf Ghali, Daniel Bentley, Matthew Wheeler, Justin Lewis, Joshua Yarborough now into the 6th position. Caleb Ramsey there in 7th. Todd Merkel, Austin Call, and Christian Proctor are top 10 here on the Speedway. Braxton Louise back in 11th with Bradley King, Max Gamble, and Dale Miller rounding out our lead lap drivers there in the 14th position. Gary Klein, now the first car a lap down out there on the racetrack, currently scored in the 15th spot. Curtis Miller a lap down here in the 16th position. Dwight Hibbs a couple laps down there in 17th, and then we see Justin Bentley, Clay Cantrell, Daryl Rachter, and Brian Grubbs round out our field as the bottom 4, all unfortunately down behind pit wall here in this race. We will get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing here, waiting for the caution lights to get turned out here on the official Iowa Racing pace car, and we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here, as I do believe we should see the lights turn off this time by the start finish line. And we'll take a look here. There they go. Okay, so the lights are off. That means we got the 1 to go. So we go back to green flag racing. This next time out of corner number 4. Can Johnny Brugg pick up right where he left off? And that's at the front of the field here before that extra caution flag came out. Can he hold off the 26 of Yusuf Ghali, the 01 of Matthew Wheeler, the 35 of Daniel Bentley, and the rest of this field? Or does somebody have something left in the tank here to jump up, battle, beat and bang, and try to take this win away from Ghali, from Brugg here this afternoon? He's down through quarter number 3 and out at quarter number 4. The official iRacing pace car will make that hard left-hand turn back down pit side, and we will go back to green flag racing as Yusuf Ghali down low, not getting the launch he was hoping for here. Not sure why he wasn't door to door trying to get a good look at the 28 rider when he was going to fire off, and now the 26 washes up the racetrack. Yusuf Ghali goes up the speedway here almost into the outside fence. That opens up the door down low for Daniel Bentley. And that 01 rider Matthew Wheeler right there ready to bounce, and here comes Justin Lewis, but don't look now. Quickly through the field comes Caleb Ramsey and the 17 run of Austin Call. We saw Call already work his way up and through the traffic and through the field from once early in this race. Made a lot of passes there with the fresh tires during that green flag run, and now working himself back into the 6th position as he works down low on Caleb Ramsey. We saw Curtis Miller run into some issues down here out of quarter number 2. Hard contact into the inside fence in the left front, heavily damaged here for the Rumpel Furniture number 70 ride. He's going to take that car down pit side. Unfortunately, that may be all she wrote for the number 70 machine. As my boy Johnny Brugg out in front, continuing to lead the way. Justin James Young coming in says, well, shoot, I missed all 3 notifications. Whack, he says. Hey, Justin, it doesn't matter, brother. It's not that you're late. It's that you're still here, my boy, and that's all that matters, brother. That's all that matters, is that you're here and that you're cheering these guys on. And Justin coming in, showing the big love over there on Facebook, coming in with that heart reaction, brother. We appreciate that. We appreciate you showing up here nonetheless. And, you know, whether or not you're late or not late, it doesn't matter to me. You're here. That's all that matters to me. You're here now, brother. As out in front, Johnny Brugg leads the way. Johnny Brugg out in front of this field, showing these drivers drivers have to get it done here in this one. As Yusuf Ghali back there in position number 2. Daniel Bentley back there in third with Justin Lewis now into fourth as Matthew Wheeler rounding out our top 5. But here comes Austin Call. Call working down to the inside lane, looking to work his way around this 0-1 ride and putting himself back inside the top 5. Right there behind him is our pole sitter, the 0-8 of Braxton DeWeese. DeWeese, who's been able to lead a ton of laps here this afternoon. Now, unfortunately, got tied up in that last caution flag, went around, trying to come down pit road, and unfortunately ended up going to the back of the pack here, but already working his way up into 7th and now looking for 6th as he works underneath of that 0-1 ride of Matthew Wheeler. As Wheeler going to try to run him down the racetrack here, trying to keep that bottom lane from moving forward here and trying to keep himself from falling back. Unfortunately, the 0-8 very, very strong and able to get that nose in there, but the 0-1 may not go down the racetrack. He's got to leave that inside lane open to avoid contact between himself and Braxton DeWeese. But DeWeese definitely having a hard time trying to make this pass, trying to draw off door to door with that number 0-1 ride. It's the 0-1 and 0-8 battle back here for position number 6. Johnny Brugg out in front. Brugg leads the way. Yusuf Ghali back there in second. And then they got about a second or so between themselves and our third place driver, the 35 of Daniel Bentley. Bentley here in third. Justin Lewis there in fourth. And now Austin Call back inside the top 5. His Call trying to reel in this 7 right of Lewis in that 35 of Daniel Bentley in a quick hurry as he'd love to try to jump up here and try to hunt down our race leader. So wouldn't Braxton DeWeese. DeWeese now into position number 6 here on the Speedway. As Braxton there in that 6th position, we see Matthew Wheeler slide back to 7th. Max Gamble back there in 8th with Caleb Ramsey rounding out our top 9 here on the Speedway. Joshua Yarbrough there in 10th with Todd Merkel, Christian Proctor, Bradley King, and Dale Miller, our top 14. Gary Klein back there in 15th as we do see Curtis Miller down on pit road here. A heartbreaker for the 70 right of Miller, a heartbreaker for the 52 is Dwight Hibbs also down on pit road as well. Justin Bentley, Clay Cantrell, Darrell Ractor, and Brian Grubbs also off of the Speedway here. So couple drivers down pit side, about 4 drivers already out of this race, and we got 15 competitors still battling out there on the Speedway. And it's all Johnny Brugg as the University of Michigan, number 28, continues to lead the way. Johnny Brugg out in front. Yusuf Ghali there in second, trying to hunt him down here as the van's off the wall. Number 26 ride right there in position number 2 and ready to pounce here. Ghali, a very patient driver, a driver very talented and knows good enough to know to kind of keep himself under control here, trying to keep pace with that 28, but try to save a little bit of tire, maybe a little bit of this equipment as they head down into corner 1 and 2 with only 23 more laps left to go. So we're already over 40 laps in this one. As Chris says, Braxton is my son. I knew that. Are you guys talking to Mr. Young? As Justin says, is that your son or brother, Chris? Yeah, that's his son. That's his son. Chris DeWeese and Braxton DeWeese, father and son. I know Chris always in here cheering him on, cheering everything that Braxton does out there on the racetrack, as we see Braxton in quite a bit of our races now, man. And we always see Chris in here cheering his son on, wishing him the best and hoping for the best there for Mr. Braxton. And once again here tonight showed a very fast car, a very good car. Unfortunately getting tied up, having that issue trying to get down pit road there, bringing out that caution flag during our good first green flag run there, our very long green flag run. And now we see him trying to work his way back up towards the front of the field in that 5th position here as he battles door to door with that 35. You still see that little bit of left front damage here on that 0-8 ride as he works down low on the 35 of Daniel Bentley for that 5th position. Right in front of him we see Austin Call there in 4th. Justin Lewis there in position number 3. We saw Justin Lewis go around early in this race as well out at quarter number 2. He went down into that inside fence, brought a caution flag out as well. And for Justin to rebound, for the 0-8 of Braxton DeWeese to rebound, and both put themselves up here inside the top 5. And now Lewis into that 3rd position, having themselves a great day here at the Speedway. not the day that they were hoping for, as they both want to be up and in victory lane. And right now it's all Johnny and Yusuf here in this one, finding another caution flag or some late race fall off for some of these other drivers. It's going to be tough to try to jump up here and chase down Johnny Brugg here this afternoon. As Brugg out in front has about 5/10 of a second now between himself and Yusuf Ghali. As Ghali there in position number 2, but Justin Lewis, Austin Call, Braxton Ruiz trying to hunt them down, hoping to see maybe a caution flag and getting them right back into the battle here, right back into the thick of things here this afternoon. As Brugg out in front, clicking these laps off. Now the big question's going to be, will we see a late race caution flag? As Justin says, nice, looks like your son is doing good. Yeah, Braxton very, very talented out there on the racetrack. It's you love to hear it. Love to hear it. Always love to hear it. It's he does well. Very proud of him. I'm glad. You should be proud of him, Chris. He is very, very talented, very good iRacer. I'm sure in real life, definitely a good racer as well, and very talented out there on the racetrack. And I don't think we're done seeing Braxton up here in the broadcast booth in victory lane here, and what he can accomplish here in his iRacing career and his real life racing career, man. I'm sure it's going to be a ton of fun, and hopefully we're up here on the booth for a lot of it. Hopefully we can see him continue to progress and become, such a great driver and such a great competitor and fierce competitor here in every series that he runs. So it's going to be a lot of fun watching him progress and turn into a, already a very good young man, but see him become even better here over the next, couple of years, few years, till he moves on to bigger, better things and see what doors open up for him in his young career. Out in front, Johnny Brugg continues to lead the way as Yusuf Ghali there in position number 2. As now we see Austin Call trying to work his way around Justin Lewis for position number 3. So Lewis is going to slide back now into that 4th position as Austin Call now up and inside the top 3 here on the speedway. Austin Call looking to clear the 7, ride with the 7 of Justin Bentley, going to get back in there deep into corner number 1. Gets a big run down through 1 and 2, and they're going to stay door to door down the back straightaway. Heck of a move right there by Justin Lewis. Austin Call did not expect that one. Now looking for this big run out at quarter number 4. He's going to clear him again, but we'll see if the 7 ride drives it as deep as he did into that quarter. He drives it in deep again. Almost gets to the back end of the 17. Look out, sideways, around goes Austin Call. Call goes around, caution flag on the racetrack. Caution flag out here onto the speedway is Austin Call and Justin Lewis battling hard together here. I'm not sure if there was contact between these two, but man, oh man, they definitely did not make it. Does look like maybe a shot right there into the back bumper. So it looks like the 17 going to get a shot headed down into corner number 1 right here. He tries to arc his way into the corner. The 7 right sends it in there deep again. Gets into that back bumper. Unfortunately, just breaks traction here. And you see that 17 just sideways trying to drift it through the corner, trying to keep it from going around. Unfortunately, could not save it and does go all the way around right there. Gets stopped on the racetrack, and that's what puts us back under the caution flag here as a late race caution flag. Really going to mix things up here as we see everybody except for Justin Lewis and Daniel Bentley come down pit side. So Lewis and Bentley will stay out there on the racetrack as everyone else heads down pit road here. We see the number 28 of Johnny Brugg, Braxton Ruiz, Max Gamble all come down pit side. Now this is where things could get very, very interesting. Do people take, maybe only a 2-tire strategy, maybe fuel only? We see the number 26 of Yusuf Ghali coming in and out of the pit stall in a quick hurry here. So I gotta wonder what the strategy call may be there for Yusuf Ghali. Braxton Ruiz gonna come out in 4th, so a great pit stop there for him. Johnny Brugg will come out in position number 5 here, so he's gonna slide back quite a few spots. Caleb Ramsey, Matthew Wheeler, Max Gamble, Austin Call all the way back here in the 9th position now after getting tagged there and going around in corner 1 and 2 to create this late race caution flag to really really mix things up here this afternoon with less than 10 laps left in this one. As Chris says, we are working on the real race car. Let's go. Takes time. It definitely takes time, man. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of seat time and a lot of practice and just kind of learning everything, man, and learning those cars and learning how to handle everything, and then obviously learning, to handle emotions and everything else. And iRacing's a great place for that, man. And then just really learning setups, learning every little tip and trick that you get throughout your career. Some drivers it takes a while. Some drivers it takes quite a bit to finally learn something that works really, really well for your driving style, for trying to make those changes for those setups and everything else. It could be just one simple little thing that you don't really think of or you don't really realize until one of those veteran guys maybe gives you that tip, that trick, and all of a sudden it can change your entire program around. And I've seen it time and time again out there on the speedway. Drivers just kind of finally finding what they need out of their car and finally starting to break through and putting together some really good races. And I'm sure Braxton, man, from what I've heard, he's going to be doing some good stuff. He's going to be doing a lot of great racing, same with Austin Call and some of these other drivers here, not only in this series but here in the Peacemaker family. Going to continue to see them continue to get better and better and better out there on the speedway, including the dirt track stuff as well. The dirt track stuff up here in Ontario for me is the big thing, the major thing. There's not a whole lot of pavement racing here in Ontario. There's a little bit, but quite a ways away from me. But mostly it's all dirt track racing, and all my dirt track friends, man, it's great to see them continuing to progress and get better and better year after year after year. I wish we had more summer and more spring and fall where we could have more racing. That winter time where we're off and we don't have racing for quite a few weeks definitely sucks. What style? We mainly up here in Canada, we kind of got a little bit of everything. We got the late models, we got the sprint cars, we got street stocks and modifieds, we got the 358s, the big blocks, the sportsman mods, so the northeastern modifieds are big up here. We got some UMP modifieds at my local racetrack and a little bit of mixture of everything, man, but it's a lot of fun and it's great to see a lot of those guys have some good runs. And we do see the 26 ride unfortunately stepping on it right here as we go back to green flag racing. Yusuf Ghali just getting onto the throttle right here. Unfortunately, that car is going to break loose. He's going to go around, and no caution flag on the racetrack. Is out in front, it's Justin Lewis who leads the way, but right there behind him is that 08 rider, Braxton DeWeese. DeWeese into position number 2, but now looking for the race lead. That caution flag may have been what he was looking for. It's the 08 rider with a great pit stop. Now having the number 26 run into issues. It's the 08 of Braxton DeWeese back to the front of the field. So DeWeese now leads the way. It's Justin Lewis there in second. Daniel Bentley trying to hang on to third as here comes Johnny Brugg. Brugg working his way around the 35 right. So Brugg back up and into third as here comes Caleb Ramsey. Ramsey in the Mud Duck Racing. Sweet Victory Apparel, Majula Say Speed Shop, number 5 ride. Now into position number 5 here himself on the speedway. Is the 01 of Matthew Wheeler right there behind him. Here comes Austin Call. Call trying to work his way back up towards the top 5. We'll see if he can get there, if he's got enough time, as Braxton DeWeese leads the way with 3 laps left to go. 3 more laps here for Braxton DeWeese, trying to pick up the checkered flag. Johnny Brugg up into second here after getting around Justin Lewis. So Lewis back into third after staying out here on the racetrack so far. It's been working for him, but here comes some of those fresher tires back here behind him, but it's all Braxton DeWeese. As DeWeese down into corner number 1. Nice and easy down through corner number 2 and back down the back straightaway. He's got about 4, 5, 6 car lengths now between himself and Johnny Brugg. 7/10 of a second down through 3 and out of corner number 4. He's been looking for this flag, and it is the white flag as the last lap around the speedway. The next flag will end it no matter what. Is Braxton DeWeese looking to try to pick up the checkered flag here this afternoon. DeWeese down the back straightaway for the final time here at Richmond Raceway. The 08 of Braxton DeWeese down through 3 and out of 4. We'll see the checkered flag fly. Braxton DeWeese picks up the win and pulls this 08 machine in to the Richmond Raceway victory lane. What a run and what a drive right there for Braxton DeWeese. When things were looking bleak, things were looking like they weren't going to go his way, here this afternoon, that late race caution flag opens up the door and he takes full advantage of it. And Braxton DeWeese puts himself into victory lane as he's going to get ready to burn down the house here. Johnny Brugg coming home in second, and Justin Lewis rounding out our top three. A great run from my boy Caleb Ramsey coming home there in position number 4. And Matthew Wheeler, a great run there in 5th as Braxton, he's going to get ready. He's going to burn down the house here in this one, man. Another good run, another great race here for the 0-8 ride in the Interstate Ford machine. He's going to be pumped about this one. He's going to be pretty psyched about the performance here this afternoon, getting that Interstate Ford ride back into victory lane here in this one, man. That was a heck of a run, heck of a drive there late in this race. We may have to go back and take a look here from the restart and see exactly how he was able to get this car going. And starting here in that outside groove in behind the race leader, definitely the place to be here for that 0-8 as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. Braxton DeWeese, he's starting to the outside, gets a great launch with that 7 right. Quickly clears that 26 as he spins around, but also clears the 35 right. So restarting there in that 4th position, down into corner number 1, he finds himself now in position number 2 and has ample amount of time there to go after our race leader. Some of those drivers deeper in the field with those French tires did not get the launch that they were looking for, did not get those opportunities to really jump up and clear some of these, older tired cars that quickly on the speedway. See Johnny Brugg trying to work his way through them. Unfortunately, a little deeper back there in the field. It took him a little longer, and by the time he finally clears, Justin Lewis could not track down that 0-8 ride as Braxton DeWeese picks up the win and pulls himself into victory lane here at Richmond Raceway. We'll get ready to jump up into the broadcast booth here with our top 3 here this evening. Man, what a run and what a drive here this evening, and we'll get ready to pull them up and into the booth here this afternoon. I want to make sure I'm pulling all the right guys in here. We're waiting for Braxton to jump into the broadcast waiting room here. I'm not sure if he's in the Discord as of right now. I don't see him in here, so we'll have to wait and see if we can get Braxton into the broadcast waiting room here real quick. As, man, what a run, what a race, and what a drive right there for Mr. DeWeese here this afternoon. All right, there he is. We'll get ready to pull him in here as good job, DeWeese. Congratulations, winner, says Justin Young. Chris says, woohoo, great job, number 08, Braxton DeWeese. Says, straight stock, great race and great broadcast tonight. I appreciate that, brother. I always love seeing you guys in the chat cheered on Braxton and all these drivers here in this one. As, yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a great time to watch a lot of these drivers continue to progress and get better, especially throughout the winter months as we get ready to pull our race winner, Braxton DeWeese, up here and into the broadcast booth. Hey, Braxton, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Braxton, man, a great start to this race, man. A great drive early on in this one as we saw you pick up that pole position early on, though. Johnny Brugg able to take that early race lead, but you're able to finally get back around him. You take that race lead away, and then you lead out the next 50 laps or so out there on the speedway, and then miss some green flag pit stops there. We see you run into some issues down through 3 and 4. Now, I'm not sure if you just got loose there on the bottom lane or if you were trying to get that car down and onto pit road before you finally lost the rear end of that, and obviously getting some help from the one of Kerry Klein at that point. But take us back through that incident as that kind of really made things look a little bleak here on your day after leading this race, seeing that 26 run get back around you and take that race lead away, and then that issue happens and you get sent to the back of the pack here. And then all of a sudden, you got to try to work yourself through the field. You got to work yourself back up there. You get back up into about that 5th position, and it kind of looked like you were kind of stalled out right there and needed another breath of fresh air. That late race caution flag opens up the door for it and makes some different strategy calls. You know, take us back kind of through this race, through that incident, and through that final call here down on pit road.
Yeah, we, obviously started off tonight how we needed to, just based on points and needing to gain and be running up front and whatnot. So getting the pole was definitely a huge deal, and having a clean air in the track position. I was sleeping on the restart or the initial start, I should say, but we had a pretty good battle with Johnny there, able to get around him after a couple cautions, and I just burnt the rears off there at the end of that first stint before I wrecked. I just was so loose and just on the edge. So to hang on that long and not get past, I was very, very surprised. But yeah, I was good. Right when Yosef passed me, I was like, all right, I need to come pit road. But it just looking back on it, like right after it happened, I was like, yeah, that was not a good idea. I probably should have waited a lap to get in a better position. I mean, the guys, I kind of said it going into 3, and I didn't check up good enough. It was just a terrible move, honestly. So glad that nobody was really um, involved in it. I don't know who was behind me. I think it was a 7. I'm not too sure. Tapped me a little bit, but I don't think that caused any damage. So luckily, I was the only one that got damaged that I know of. Um, and I thought the race was over. I was like, well, there goes another one. I felt like we've had pace to honestly win a few of these races this year, and just haven't been able to pull it all together. And I thought we were going to have the same instance of not pulling it all together there at the end. But to be able to gain them a couple spots on that little green flag run and to get that caution, that was definitely lucky. But just to pull the strategy, the 2 tires after them 2 guys stayed out, I was committed to that. I was like, well, I honestly didn't know what to do, but after them guys stayed out, I was committed to the 2 tires. I was like, there's no way I'm going to take 4. I want to get 2, and I want to get around him as soon as I can. So able to get a good restart with Justin, and I got a black flag from that restart. It was kind of weird. I don't know if it's because of how the inside lane was, and we just got a bit better start, and Yosef spun. I'm not too sure, but either way, we were able to get that cleared and be able to race Justin for the win and be able to go out about a second or something like that. And then Johnny was coming. I was like, we just got to be smooth. He was on the 4 tires, I want to say. So just happy we could pull this one through, and hopefully we have a shot at the championship next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting all those extra points and leading a lot of laps here today, and just bouncing back, showing that championship drive. We see it time and time again. Back in the day with the old NASCAR point styles where drivers always had to battle for every point they needed. And with having the points the way they're set up here with our 10 race series, no playoffs, there's no rounds or anything else. So you gotta have these rebound races. You gotta try to get every point you can in every single race and not giving up on a race or anything else. Where when you went around, you could have just taken that car down pit side and left it there, but you wanted to make sure you kept racing, kept getting these points and trying to put yourself into a better position here, and it works out perfectly for you as you're able to pull that 0-8 ride up into victory lane. You never gave up, you never gave in out there on the speedway, and it allows you to pick up a big win in your hunt towards trying to win this championship. And definitely being able to get the win, get those extra bonus points and everything else, trying to close that gap and everything on the points championship. It's going to make for a very, very interesting finale here next week. But Braxton, a great run, a great drive, and a great rebound from where this race kind of went after that lap 77 spin out. And, now putting yourself into victory lane. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and great performance here this afternoon?
Yeah, man, I want to give a big shout out to Interstate Ford on the car for going through all the highs and the lows right there in that race. And honestly, the league thus far, it's been fun. Just had a couple mistakes and just a mishap. So I'm glad we were able to rebound thus far. And haven't looked at the points, but hopefully they're pretty good looking for us. So we can go into Atlanta next week and have a shot and try to get this Interstate Ford Mustang in victory lane as well as a championship. So I'd really like to do that for them. We've done that a couple times with them, and it's always nice to add a couple more. So we're definitely going to try that. And also want to give a shout out to Allen's Arts Images, Ben's Publical, Jane's on Main, Dewey's Renovations, Booth 34 Diecast, and Rabbit's Photography, Blaze Designs, as well as Evan Pineda Designs, and Bully Dog Coffee Company. You can use Brax5 for 10% off over there in your checkout for the little promo code. So I appreciate all of them for supporting me. I appreciate all the supporters in the chat for the broadcast as well as my live stream. So we've been doing pretty good here recently. It's honestly been a pretty good year. So hopefully we can keep it up and keep the momentum rolling for all the races that we run in the future. I feel like we've had to run close to getting close to 200 races for sure, just because of how much we've raced. So Um, Looking forward to next week at Old Atlanta, and hopefully we can go back to back.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack. Looking forward to seeing you try to win those back-to-back races and maybe potentially picking up our Season 2 championship here on the MNT Cup Series. And Braxton, congrats on the great run. Congrats on the great race. We can't wait to see you out there next week.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your weekend, man.
You too. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Braxton DeWeese. Braxton picking up the checkered flag and putting that 08 right into victory lane here this afternoon as we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher, the number 28, Johnny Brugg. Let's pull Johnny up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Johnny, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Taking a copy.
I got you loud and clear. You got me?
I do, Johnny, man. A great run, a great race here for you all evening long, man. We see you lead, quite a few laps at different parts of this race, and late in it, looking to try to pick up a checkered flag. You're able to hold off the, hard-charging number 26, Yusuf Ghali, for multiple laps there, and looking to try to cruise home to a checkered flag until that late race caution flag came out, and then that really mixed things up here as everyone coming down pit road, other drivers saying out, really a lot of different pitch strategies there, and obviously not starting towards the front as much as you would probably hope with a few extra drivers staying out there. You had to take a little bit more time to work yourself through that traffic, through those drivers that stayed out there on the speedway, and as you took that extra little time trying to get through there, having to pass a few extra cars, Braxton Lewis was able to take that race lead and open up a bit of a gap. By the time you got around Justin Lewis, you just didn't have enough time late in this race to close in and try to make a move here to get to the back bumper of that 08 machine.
Yeah, it was a bit of a bummer when that caution came out and I was out in the lead because that probably would have been the first time I beat Yusuf on the long run. I don't know if he was going to save until the last 5 laps, but I felt like I was actually gaining on him for that long run there, and I felt good, confident. My tires were feeling nice. But, that's racing. Caution comes out. I think I made the best strategy call I could have. If I would have taken 2 tires, I still would have probably started on the bottom lane, and it looks like Yusuf spun out on the restart with 2 tires. I think it probably felt a little weird getting back into the gas. I know Braxton made it work, but he was in the high lane, so and that's where I preferred to restart all race, so that kind of makes sense because your car is a little bit straighter up there. But no, hats off to Braxton. He ran a great race. I was kind of bummed to see him get caught up in that one wreck when he was trying to get down to pit road because me, him, and Yusuf were having a pretty good battle for that first long run, and he managed to get back up to the front after facing some adversity. So hats off to him. He's a fellow Michigan fan, he told me, so I don't mind losing to him too much.
Absolutely, brother. Well, yeah, definitely a heck of a rebound race right there for Braxton DeWeese. But yeah, that caution flag that he was tied up in there, right around that midway point when some drivers were already done their green flag pit stop here in the race, and other drivers were starting to make their way down, including Braxton there. It really would have been interesting to see this race go the rest of the way there, green flag without a caution flag, as obviously, different pitch strategies varying there for yourself and Braxton and the 26 of Yusuf Ghali, but we also saw Austin Cole making up a ton of time and a ton of speed there with the fresher tires coming down quite a bit earlier than you guys. Would have been very, very interesting there at the end to see where everyone would have shaped up, where that kind of would have finished, as having those fresher tires, he would run the quicker lap times. Probably he was able to just work his way back onto the lead lap there as Braxton went around. So virtually, if you guys would have made those green flag pit stops, he would have been quite a ways in front of you guys. But you guys were going to be chasing him down there late in this race, and Binding, you guys may not have had enough time or anything else. Could have turned out the opposite way for Austin Cole here this afternoon as well, and what could have been. But man, it was a great battle there. A lot of fun watching you three battle there at the front of the field and continuing to just kind of bounce back and forth out there on the racetrack. We saw the 26 trying to take the race lead away from Braxton a couple times. He would slide back to you. You would try to get back around Yusuf, and then, just a lot of great battling, a lot of great racing out there, and, finishes off fairly decent for yourself here with the second place run. I know you wanted to see this one go clean and green to the end, but you're going to be pretty happy with how everything played out here this afternoon and being able to finish up here on the podium again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, of course, I wanted to, grab that checkered flag and keep it myself. But not a bad points day. It was a really fun battle all race, especially that long run with Yusuf and Braxton, where, I mean, we were all just trying to cupcake our tires around the track and just pounce on any mistake that each one of us were making. So that was a lot of fun. It would have been really interesting to see how the race would have turned out had we stayed green and had different pit strategies out there. I didn't know Austin was on a short pit strategy, so yeah, it would have been interesting to see how that played out because he's another one of those fast drivers. So, but yeah, overall can't complain. It was a great race, good points day. Got to lead some laps, so yeah, I'm pretty content.
Absolutely. Well, Johnny, a great run and a great drive here for you, man. Who would you like to thank for such a great performance here this afternoon from Richmond Raceway?
Yeah, I'd like to just shout out the MNT admins for putting this league together and making sure we hit the track every week. And I'd like to thank you up in the broadcast booth. You do an amazing job. So I'm looking forward to watching this one back. I'm looking forward to watching this one back more than any other race just because of how fun those battles were on track. So yeah, and I want to shout out all the viewers, everyone who tuned in. Hope we put on a good show for you there. But yeah.
Beauty. Well, Johnny, a great run, a great drive here in our penultimate race this afternoon. We look forward to seeing you out there in our series finale next week, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth and maybe picking up that championship, because I know you're right in the middle of that battle and that hunt for the championship here in our second season.
Yeah, I hope see you next week, and the championship points battle is gonna be close. So everybody, make sure to tune in next week as well, and we shall crown a champion here for season 2 in MNT.
Well, Johnny, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we can't wait to see you out here next Friday.
All right, man. Have a great night.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Johnny Brugg, as Brugg coming home there in position number 2, man. A good job and a good drive there for Johnny Brugg, as he was oh so close to tasting victory here this afternoon, but it's going to be interesting to see all those points and how it's going to shape up here next week for our championship night, for our championship race. It's going to be very, very interesting, as we're going to get ready to pull in our third place finisher here, Justin Lewis. Let's pull Justin up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Justin, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Take a copy.
I got you.
Justin, brother, a bit of an up and down day here for you at the racetrack, as we saw you, out at the front of the field early in this race. You ran into some issues. The car went around there at a car number 2. You get into the inside fence, and the caution flag comes out. It puts you back there at the rear of the field. You're having to work yourself through some of that traffic, through some of the carnage that unfolded there with some early race yellows. And then we see that good green flag run. You're able to work yourself kind of back up towards the front of the field here. And then obviously we see some different pit strategies, some different runs there later on in this race. And then we see you work yourself up into that third position. And then the 17 right Austin Call jumps up there, gets around you. You guys make contact late in this race, which really opens up the door here for a different call. We see you stay out on the speedway trying to pick up the dump here this afternoon. You almost were able to get it done. You just couldn't quite hold off Braxton Louise or Johnny Brugg. You're late in this race, but you're able to hold on for a solid third place run.
Yeah, I didn't actually hit anything when I spun that first caution. I apparently stared at the yellow line for too long, and it went around. But I had issues getting off turn 4 in practice, like the whole night, and so 2 I felt pretty confident in. Well, sure enough, 2 was the problem for me in the race, and 4 was fine. So that would be my luck for this season. But no, I kind of messed up and took tires on lap 7 when I spun, which wasn't the plan, but it did. So we went to the back, started 21st. They had a couple guys crash. That helped. I think we worked up to like 16th when we finally had that run go, and then I felt really good when we got rolling finally, when I wasn't up top or battling somebody side by side like I was at the beginning. So we just kind of picked them off, and we were moving through there fine. And then I don't know, I think I got to like 5th or 6th or something like that, and I got to really utilize the tires, the 7-lap newer tires, I guess, which 7 laps don't mean crap anymore, but those tires were rolling. I was like 2/10 quicker than the leader. Like I was closing in, and then about the time Austin pits was when the light switch went off, and I lost all gain, and I started to just drop like a rock. So I'm confused on that one. I don't know why the tires hated me at that point, but we tried to drive it through. I was hoping that they were going to all do what Austin did, and I was going to just try to milk it out till we got a yellow. But sure enough, that happened, but they ended up not pitting either. So I was hoping to trap them a lap down to kind of get me some game plan here. But it didn't happen. So at that point, I was like, well, we rallied back decent. We'll just see where we're at. And then there was a point where, so I think I got to the 2nd or 3rd there. I think I got the 3rd, and Austin was right behind me. We're about even. We're always even when we come to Richmond in anything, trucks, cars, so it don't matter. And I was running down Yosef, and I was like, hey, don't pass me yet. And he's like, I'm faster than you. I'm like, just give me time. I'm catching him. If we try to race now, we'll never catch him. He's like, all right, cool. Well, the light switch flicked for me even quicker this time. So like, that's not good. So I was like, well, I guess we're racing this out because I don't want you to beat me for the 3rd time in a row when I tell you to come here. So we start racing. Everything's going great. No problems. And then he gets around me, and I didn't plan to touch him at all, but I think I cracked in about a half a car length too deep into turn 1. And that slight tap was the worst place you could tap somebody because the car's already light on entry anyway in turn 1. So he gets checked up and sideways and about dies and ends up spinning out. And I'm like, well, that's not the game plan. But he spins out. I'm like, well, good. We caught him, I guess. Well, the plan worked for me in a way, but I just tried to kill Austin, so that's not good. So I figured, okay, we're at a disadvantage anyway, and if they take tires and we take tires, we're still going to come out 3rd. I was going to come out with 4, so I probably would have came out like 6th or 7th. Anyway, so I was like, screw it. We'll do it the opposite they do. So they pitted. I stayed out. I was hoping when I seen Yosef spin on that restart that there would be another caution, maybe give it a green light checkered. And I could have held him for at least 1 lap until the next caution, hopefully. But we didn't get it. Caution doesn't come out. Tires prevailed, which I figured they would. But I still kind of finished where I should have, probably 3rd to 5th. Because it must have went long run. I think it was more like a 6th place car in the long run tonight. But after last week's debacle, I just was glad to talk to you. I thought last week I had that in the bag, and then I handed it to Austin anyway with a 5th to 3rd downshift, which is a new one for me. Haven't done that in a long time. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Absolutely. Well, after a tough run last week, but a good run here this week, points-wise, how are you feeling going into this championship race next week? How are the points looking for you? Do you think you're going to be in contention here for this championship again, or do you think some of those drivers have, too big of a gap between yourself and them for that championship contention?
I'd say we're probably out of it for this season, which that's okay. We didn't perform like we should have. I think if it would have went the way it should have went, like Rockingham, I think I had that one. Austin wins, not a big deal. But the mistakes early in that race cost me track position. When you have to drive back from the back 3 times like I did at Rockingham, it's hard to get the win or try to race for the win, but we got a shot. We ended up 2nd. I think it was Chicago. We're on the pole. We're leading. Trying to save tires, and we run a little higher 1 lap, and it gets sideways. I try to catch it and not kill the field. We wreck. Lap down, the race goes green to the end. Super fast car after the repairs, but we're lap down. So that hurt. And then Iowa was the same case. Just something either with my wheel or me. I mean, after watching the replay, a 5th to 3rd downshift, it doesn't work. The motor blew up before I even hit the wall. So, part failure is what I'll call that one, I guess. But it was a catastrophic one, that's for sure. So we're pretty much out of it. I'm not too worried about that. We're just trying to go to old Atlanta, try to win, and at least make the show interesting. You know, we always have speed. It's just when we actually pull it out of our butts to get a win's the problem, it seems, at this season. So hopefully next season, before my sprint car season starts up for real life, we can get a dub and try to see what we can do once for the real season starts.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe see a little bit more consistency out of that 7 ride and see you have a good car and be in position to battle for the championship in Season 3 of the MNT Cup Series. And Justin, we look forward to seeing you back out there next week to battle out there on the Speedway. I know you're going to be up there at the front, whether or not you're battling for the championship or not. And hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth. But before I let you go, man, who would you like to give thanks to here this afternoon for a great run and great performance here at Richmond Raceway?
Yeah, well, thank you for doing a good broadcast as always. Probably go back and watch that one, just like I do for most of the others too. Thank MNT for a good league. I'm shocked the car count went as big as it was last year to down a little bit this season, but we're getting close to that time where a lot of people actually spend time with their family, so it makes sense. And then Todd Merkel of Merkel Racing Engines, he's on all my cars for all the leagues I run. So can't thank him for enough for letting me have something to blabber about and make my cars look cool. So other than that, just I guess a quick apology to Austin for ending his top 5 run. I think I don't know if he ended up coming back from that or not, but I parked him on accident. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, he ended up battling back for a 6th place finish, but not enough there, I don't think. I think he's still going to be a little upset with you, but I'm sure bygones will be bygones here after this one, and
I'll back this
friends again after tonight. But you may want to give him a couple hours to maybe cool down a little bit. But man, a good run, a good race, nonetheless. Justin, congrats on the 3rd place finish, and we hope to see you back up here in the broadcast booth next week in our season finale.
Thanks, buddy. We'll see you next week.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our 3rd place finisher, Mr. Justin Lewis. Is Justin coming home there in position number 3? A great run and a great drive there for that number 7 ride. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, unfortunately, though, that is going to do it for us here this afternoon. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. Turn those bell notifications on, even if we're not currently live. Make sure you guys do those things, man. Hit the like button, helps us out a ton. Drop a couple comments. Let us know what you thought of the broadcast in the comment section. Let us know who you're cheering for, who you want to see win or potentially win that championship in the comment section. And make sure, you hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, and turn those bell notifications on. That way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming. That way you never miss the racing action here on the channel. But unfortunately, that is going to do it for us here this afternoon. We'll be back in action tomorrow night. We'll be back up here in the broadcast booth with the Premium Stock Car Racing League as their playoffs continue on, and we get to see those drivers duking out in battle again here tomorrow night. And I can't wait to see each and every one of you back up here in the grandstands and cheering on all of those drivers as well, as we will be back in action tomorrow evening, and I can't wait to see y'all there. But thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate each and every single one of you, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow evening. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen.
Engines roar like a beast. Cheering crowd can't sit still. Rubber burns on concrete. Fight for glory, thrill to kill. To the finish line we drive. Screeching wheels we come alive. Speed demons through the night. Racing with all our might. countdown slow. Wing cutting faces now. Victory, our solemn vow. To the finish line we drive. Screeching wheels we come alive. Speak demons through the night. Racing with all our might. Adrenaline rush we crave. Pushing past edges brave. Life in fast lane feeding fire. Tracks our only true desire. Helmet on focused eyes. Crowds roar reaches skies. Pit stop seconds to spare. In this war no place for care. To the finish line we drive. Screeching wheels we come alive. Speak demons through the night. Racing with all our might. Engines roar like a beast. Cheering crowd can't sit still. Rubber burns on concrete.